The defending champs are shooting the Rats at Brad Marchand. They're smiling because they are one win away from going back to the final. Just absorbing the punishment there, Brad Marchand. The captain, not done. I don't know whether that's Anson or the actual sound of it.
Or Keith Yandel.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at that, too.
I think it's his voice that they recorded. NHL on TNT. Post-game show presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
That was me, Biz.
That's what the Hurricanes feel like right now. Oh, PTSD, shrapnel.
Well, especially when you look at this was a close game, then there's a 5-goal barrage, and now you have 3 games, 5-2, 5-0, 6-2, outscored 16-4. 0 for their last 15 in the conference final. The champs imposed their will. It just took a little bit longer tonight. Liam McHugh, Paul Bissonnette, Anson Carter, Hall of Famer Chris Chelios. There are so many different moments we can hit here, and we're going to talk to Alexander Barkov in a little bit. But you go back in this series right now, and it's not over. You know it's trending in that direction, and you have a moment where it all changed.
2 significant moments. When Švec bumped Bobrovsky, I thought that was significant. They didn't react right away, but you could tell they put it in the back of their mind. And then that right there, when Despair at the end of game 1 shot the puck at Brad Marchand. Yes, Brad Marchand took it to run him right before this, but right here, you got to take your gloves off and fight him at this point. And you got to stick up for yourself. And if you're trying to come in like the big bad Carolina Hurricanes, like bumping Bob and really trying to play that Florida style of play, you have to live up to that reputation. And I don't think that they did it. And I think that right from those 2 moments, they put that right in the back of their head. They say, we're going to handle business. We're going to try to run up the score every game. And when we run up the score, that's when we can get even with these guys. And you've seen it a couple times, specifically tonight with Bennett going after Svechnikov. And then obviously Tkachuk going after Aho.
So, listen, we're going to talk all about that, but right now we're going to talk to a man who put up big numbers tonight, the captain, Alexander Barkov. 3 points in this game, a couple of goals. Thanks so much for coming on and joining us. You know, Biz was just talking about it. You guys, you have memories. If things happen to your teammates, you stand up for them. But it seems like you don't lose your head. You wait until games when it's appropriate to respond. Is that something that is discussed in the room?
Well, you guys know very well. We have those guys in the room that know when to do it and how to do it. So obviously, I think they did a good job with that. But it's playoff hockey. We don't forget. And next game starts from 0. So we just keep going.
Barky, it's Ace. Great game. I want you to talk a little about the Florida Panthers' depth. You lost Reinhart, Mikkola goes out, but you guys don't seem to miss a beat.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Like this year, it's been incredible. Like our depth, and every single line can produce. Every single line plays the right way, and it's fun to watch how they play. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and obviously every single game from now on, it's going to be harder and harder. So we just concentrate on one game at a time. But yeah, like you said, it's incredible to have this kind of depth.
Barky, it's Biz here. I mean, just talking about the defense you guys have, I believe 7 defensemen have scored a goal so far in these playoffs. Like, what can you say about them and how much they've been able to contribute offensively and help you guys out, especially at the fact that you keep backing them up and providing that secondary back end?
Yeah, like you said, it's great to have those guys. Like you can give them the puck, and obviously they're gonna make plays from there. They're gonna shoot the puck. They're gonna get it to the net, and forwards just have one job to do to get to the net. So, and also like you said, every single defenseman have scored pretty much in this playoff. So that means a lot.
I have to ask you, given what we saw with Reinhart going out and Mikkola leaving this game injured as well, do you have to shoot the Rats a little softer at Brad Marchand just to make sure everyone's okay for the next one?
That's a good question. I did keep it on the ice this time. I wasn't shooting in his shin pads or anything, so he doesn't get hurt. That's
smart. That's a captain. It's a leader, keeping it together. Alex Barkov, thanks so much. Congrats on the win.
Great stuff, Barky.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good luck, Barky.
Listen, he didn't shy away from the question. We have guys that know how to take care of their business, but know how to do it in the right time. And we're going to go right back into that conversation because it felt like things started to turn with those plays. We saw carry over amazingly games later from that Svechnikov on Bobrovsky. This is it. We go back game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. But it's not guys running around just trying to get in Svechnikov's face every moment after that.
No, they're taking a number, and they wanted to wait and do it the right way and make sure that the game was out of hand and they weren't going to hurt their team. You knew Sam Bennett was going to get him, or someone was going to get him. There's a long list of players for the Florida Panthers that were going to look and try to get retribution for running their goaltender. This is a scary man right here. We always talk about it. It never looks like his heart rate even goes above 180 beats a minute, but he just lives for those moments. And then you see Sebastian Aho taking out Reinhart Biz, and in this game they're waiting for that opportunity, and Matthew Tkachuk chased him down the whole ice or off the faceoff trying to get payback.
I'm just shocked that they didn't have anybody else from the Carolina Hurricanes who would jump in to try to defend Aho here. Like, this is like a lack of team mentality and a lack of team toughness, and you need this in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And look at Tkachuk's reaction here. He goes, we remember, we know, we got it mentally marked. And Shelley, I mean, you could speak more to it because you played, in a throwback time where we saw a lot more of this, and I'm sure you were part of Cup teams who had that type of toughness.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'd say is when, Tkachuk went after Aho and then Bennett, it shouldn't be one-on-one at that point. They're outmatched in toughness, so just everybody got to pile in there, grab, from behind, choke, and do it. I hope you can maybe do something, break someone's finger, or, who knows? No, but seriously, he's not going to hurt. Aho's not going to hurt Tkachuk in that situation. Their whole team should have been in there in a big pile, not one-on-one against each other.
And we've watched David Pastrnak in the past, take on that challenge and say, Matthew Tkachuk, you want to fight? We're going to fight. Goes back to the coaching staff and ask for that. But we were talking about the maturity level of this team earlier in the broadcast, and they've waited to pick their spots. Remember a few years ago in the Battle of Florida, playing against Tampa Bay, and Sam Bennett went out and ran Kucherov, I believe it was, and the series is over. He's learned from those moments, so now he's not going to take a dumb penalty. He's going to take a number, wait for the right opportunity, wait for a game to get out of hand, and then try to get payback as quickly as he can.
We talked to A.J. Greer after game 1, and the fourth line had an incredible game, so we had the opportunity to speak with him, and we asked him that question about Ghost shooting it at Marchand, and you could see the wires crossing in his brain, and then he refrained from answering spontaneously the way that he wanted to, but you could tell it's like, oh, these guys are taking this back to the locker room, and they're going to inflict some pain on these guys when they have the opportunity, and that's for me when I'm like, okay, maybe I saw this going 5 or 6 to begin with, but they lit a fire underneath Florida's you-know-what, and they were looking to embarrass them every single game after that, as we've seen, and give themselves an opportunity to get that retribution. So this is man amongst boys in so many ways as far as stylistic of play, but also the fact that they won't even defend themselves. Like, Ghost, drop your gloves if you're going to do that. Aho, maybe he's not the guy to fight, but if I'm on Aho's team, I know I'm sprinting over there to try to take care of Tkachuk. Like, regardless if you're going to get beat up, you got to defend one of your quote-unquote superstars. So this is just, they got to go back to the drawing board, and this is a cultural issue inside that locker room, the way this series has been handled.
That's their identity, Florida, right? And there are not too many teams that can match what these guys do. And over the course of the last 3 years, way more discipline. They know when to go after guys, they know when to hold up and not take, dumb penalties. And especially in the playoffs, you can't afford to. They're that much smarter than they were 2 years ago. So, but again, that's not Carolina's game. They're very structured, very disciplined. But at the end of the day, you got to have some of that grit and some of that, that jam that you need to be a playoff team.
Well, I do want to go back to that, just the idea of situational intelligence, where you're not running after guys. You mentioned Sam Bennett a few years ago. I mean, he was like a tea kettle, right? It was just like going. It was just gonna. When you're on the bench or you're in the room and something happened, guys are fired up. Like, was there conversation in there between a few guys? Hey, listen, we'll find our time. There'll be a moment. Or, because you'd have to think, there's a couple teammates who maybe, that guy could be a loose cannon, something bad could happen. We'll pick our spot. We'll find our moment.
I just think back when I started with Montreal and Craig Ludwig, things weren't going our way. And I don't know if you guys remember this, when Craig Ludwig said he was going to do something, he elbowed Trent Yawney, almost killed him in the Montreal Forum. So we did discuss it, and McGillney was another guy we targeted because Buffalo had some pretty good teams back then. Back then, an elbow was 2 minutes, regardless of how hard you think. So, times you got to be smarter. You don't want to get suspended five games for that. But yeah, it's just different times. But you do have to target those guys, and intimidation, when it goes a long way.
There's a reason that teams are going to be lined up to pay Sam Bennett $10, $11 million for 7-8 years, whatever they can get their hands on.
Are you talking about your Leafs?
I would pay a few million of that if I could get inside Chelios or Wayne's wallet. Okay, and these types of players you need in playoffs, and I get that Carolina's very analytical and they want guys who can play with pace and this and that. I think given the fact that they're about to be swept 4 times in a row, and they need to look in the mirror and say, we got to go address these issues, because this is a component to winning playoff hockey. Florida has proved that. Other teams have proved that. You're telling me if somebody went after McDavid or Draisaitl that people on the Edmonton Oilers wouldn't be running over to defend them? Like, that's a joke. That's a joke to me. That's a issue inside the locker room, in my opinion, for Carolina. The fact that Svetch and Aho get attacked there and nobody's there to respond. I don't care if it's Benner or if it's Tkachuk. You got to do something. I mean, like Orlov, the way that he played tonight, you go over and handle it, take a few punches in the head.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond in the next game, how this changes.
They should come out swinging.
Ready down 3-0. The other big bright spot for Florida here is that guys get injured, and we talk about collective effort and defending themselves. Collective effort skill-wise, right? Because Mikko Mikkola, we've been talking about him, and he's been kind of a revelation here, but different guys keep stepping up. And Mikkola was a terrible ending to tonight's game, but before this, just all the different components of his game, we were watching him blossom.
Oh, this pairing with Seth Jones is incredible. And that right there, Liam, I felt that because I destroyed my shoulder the same exact way when I was in Boston. And it doesn't feel good. You hit that boards going 100 miles an hour just like that. I wish him well. I hope he comes back pretty quickly. But he's been probably arguably their best defenseman along with Seth Jones on that second pairing. That size and that reach and that length back there makes it extremely difficult on the PK, jumping up offensively in the offensive zone. He brings a different element to their team, and you can't teach size.
Yeah.
You just can't. We heard Jackson Blake talk about it when we spoke to him before the last game. Like, their D are so massive. They're so long out there. It's hard to get around them. It's true. You can't teach size. I don't care how smart you are. You just can't teach size.
And the anticipation, Mikkel and Jones playing, both offensive-minded. Usually you get a guy to play D and support each other. But these guys, they just great anticipation when the puck's turned over, jumping in the place of Jones again, first minute or two, had a really great opportunity jumping up in the play. And the fact that it's dangerous for other teams. You got to watch both of them as opposed to just trying to keep in one guy trying to join that rush and make it a 4-man rush.
Do we have time for one clip, or do we got to go to commercial?
No. We got time.
I'd like to. This is what embodies the Florida Panthers, and it starts at the top with Joshua Barkov. So we're going to roll this clip on I believe it ended up being the game winner, and just how he's able to cover for his defenseman and give Ekblad an opportunity to pinch up. And we're going to roll it right here. And this is the north-south angle. Okay, so this is a breakout that doesn't go necessarily perfect, and you're going to see it go over to Barkov, and they got a great stick on puck. But watch this. Ekblad stands up. Look where Barkov is. He's skating right back to help position himself to get underneath him, and he's going to beat Aho to the middle. But because he's doing that, and Ekblad knows that gives him the ability to stand up at the red line. He gets it turned over, and they go right back the other way and put in the game winner. So watch it. Look at that. Great stick on puck, but he's able to do that because of Sasha Barkov, their captain, their leader, and it's a trickle-down effect throughout the whole lineup. And then you get a guy like this who steps in, who's been a healthy scratch, who's able to end up getting the game winner. So just remarkable. We've seen it all playoffs long, and we saw it, a master class of it throughout this series, including in that third period. And I don't think this team's going to lose a game.
And he steps right in. Barkov makes him comfortable. Boquist, he steps in for Sam Reinhart, who over the past 2 seasons, offensively, has led the Florida Panthers in basically everything. Everything that you can lead them in, he has led them in, except for assists, where he is third. Boquist comes in, he has 3 points, he has a goal there, but everyone's contributing. Evan Rodriguez, he gets 2 more assists in this game. He chatted with Jackie.
Wow. Well, I'll start with this. This game was tight through 40 minutes. What allowed you guys to sort of break out in the end and have another sort of blowout performance?
Yeah, I think just sticking to our game was the biggest thing. They came out hard. They played well. They had a really good push in the second. But I thought we just stuck to our game and then, waited for them to, almost try to cheat the game, try to create more offense than they needed, and we ended up capitalizing on the turnovers.
What is it about this Panthers team that just thrives, to borrow a word from Paul Maurice, in the mud, right? Like the game's tight, you're battling on the boards, you're winning puck battles, you're doing all these little things. Why do you guys thrive or seem to thrive in those areas of the game?
I think it's because what we focus on during the year. It's the little things, right? It's the dirty, the hard, like you said, the in the mud type games, and we do it all year long. So when it comes to playoffs, we're used to it, and we're comfortable in it, and we just stay patient, and we've done a great job of that, especially recently, and again, a big third for us tonight.
And a big game for Boquist. He comes in with Sam Reinhart out of the lineup, has a huge night. What can you say about the way he stepped in and stepped up for you guys?
Yeah, he did it last series when I went down, and he did it again tonight with Rhino going down, and he just a smart player. He can play with good players, and he reads off them well, and he's got really good speed. So he gets in on the forecheck, he causes havoc. Barkey's first goal, it's a forecheck that seemingly they have full control. We get in on it, and it ends up in the back of the net a few seconds later. So incredible job by him, especially not playing for a week or so, and stepping right in and contributing.
Well, one more to book your ticket to the Stanley Cup final. I've got it on good authority that 63 had a cookie dough blizzard during the intermission. Are we celebrating with ice cream after this one, or did you already indulge as well?
Not yet. We're going to get the protein shakes and the recovery drinks in us, and then we'll see where the night takes us. Maybe some guys will indulge depending on what they got at home.
What's your order?
I haven't gone to DQ in a while. I wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't part of that trip, but we've had some Grater's ice cream in the in our meal room that the boys haven't been shy about. That's for sure.
All right. Well, congrats on the win, and thanks for this.
Anytime. Thank you.
That may be the greatest investigative reporting I've ever. Did Marchand have a blizzard? We saw him. Listen, we saw the end result, right? The empty spoon. But if he had that, getting
that's
up with
the
the
new
rats.
school beer. Right? You can't be drinking beers anymore the way that you can't recover when you're crushing pops the way that Chelly crushed them.
But that was before the third period.
Yeah. Oh, he ate it before.
Well, that was what we showed it, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Maybe extra protein?
I do have
know.
one question, though, going forward. Obviously, Caroline needs many different things to happen, but they went to Kochetkov for this, and until the third period, that looked like a very, very good decision. Kochetkov or Freddie Anderson for Game 4?
Going back to Mr. Anderson.
Yep.
It's not even a question for me and Chelly. It's got to be Freddie Anderson.
Absolutely. Like I said, today it wouldn't matter. Kochetkov gave him a chance to win, like we talked about. Second period, Bobrovsky just, he made the saves when he needed to, and then Florida just took over.
I'd put them both in net if I could.
Same time?
Same time. I think that's the only chance.
Just change it up, something new?
Put them both in there.
That's a hell of a strategy.
Yeah.
I like it.
4
Let's see how it
players.
turns out. Let's roll the dice.
2 goalies?